Hey, my name is Zizaran. We are now going to read over the patch notes. I'm going to read through everything. If it's something interesting or something I have an opinion about, I'm going to stop. If not, I'm going to give a positive or negative facial reaction and continue. It's too long for me to read through the entire patch notes and then comment at the end. I will also try to do a TLDR, and I'll put an annotation to that in the description of the YouTube video at the end. So we're gonna read through. Right. Added Acts 5 through 10. Remove the cruel and merciless difficulty levels. Path of Exile is now a single 10-act playthrough. Added a new character selection screen. Oh cool, I can't wait to see that actually. Unless it's already on the beta and I didn't notice. Added a new feature, Pantheon system, we know about that. Added a new feature, Help panel. Significantly updated the tutorial. Added 8 new Val areas. Some of those bosses will probably be rippy. Added a passive skill tree planning system. Is that the blue thing? Is that back in? Introduce new technology for running water. New skill gems. So we've already looked at those as Dart Pact, Stormburst, and Charge Dash. New support gems. That's also all the ones we know from the beta. Let's see about actual changes. Unique items. 9 by designers, 5 by supporters, 6 for Harbinger, and 4 for... Looks like something from Lord of the Rings. 4 items for the Pale Council encounter. You what? Okay, that's pretty cool. We'll see about that later. It's the beta one? Oh. I don't notice things. Added a new vendor recipe. See, I don't know, but this is something I've wanted for a long time. More of this. We have no idea what it is. Could be anything. And before they tell us later, but hopefully we don't know. 36 new achievements. Gateway in Japan. Loading speed memory usage. Monsters now use a new method for pathfinding. Added support for the camera zooming out at specific events. Oh yeah. Play alert sound positional rather than play. Oh, that's really cool. I thought that was already a thing though. Oh, this is when I was supposed to wake up. I was supposed to wake up now, so my alarms are going off. But then patch notes were out, so I guess I woke up early just to read them. So, but the proper stream will be later. Turning off all my alarms. Right. 9 non-specific currencies, also currencies tab. This is a buff. Master audio volume slider. Item filters can have a much larger array of sounds, some of which have voices. New 3D art. Ooh, Martyr of Incense. That'll probably look cool. Arcali's Fang, Advancing Fortress, Allure, Essentia Sanguis, Rive, Mark of the Doubting Knight, Consuming Dark, Light of Inaris, Shade of Solaris, Dust Dawn, Eshmir, Ash Visage, Chimeria's Maul, and Heritage, Song of the Sirens, and Alternate Art, Carcass Jack. People will be happy about the last one. Onslaught now plays an effect on the affected player. You can now queue up a detonate action. The Hellions impersonary gates have come down with an irreversible case of scary face. I like the new Hellions. The game client now flashes if you receive a whisper while it's minimized. That's handy. Not for me, but good thing to have. Dynamic resolution scaling. You are now warned before leaving the labyrinth without the use of Altar of Ascendancy. Wow, that is a huge quality of life that they're just slipping in there. That's good. So, positive stuff. The corner of the map overlay has been greatly removed. Shown by default for new players. Good. Added a warning before exporting a Grandmaster to prevent accidental submissions. That explains why there's so many bad ones debated. Environmental changes. The Dying Exile's voice acting pretty short gig. Ness's model has been updated and her voice acting re-recorded. I don't really want to miss anything because they're pretty subtle. Piety's dialogue in Upper Prison now changes based on the player's character. Your pets now occasionally play their other animations. New keyword Farshot. Projectile attacks gain damage as they travel farther, dealing up to 30% more damage to targets. Alright. Lore glyphs now continue to play across area transitions. Added a feature to the challenge tab, which allows you to hide challenges you've already completed. I think I saw a picture of that. That's actually amazing. That's as I said, like they just like slip in like amazing things. And probably huge nerfs too, so I don't want to miss anything. The social panel now displays a different icon for your friends depending on whether they're in part 1 or part 2 or maps. Added a new Zana quest to help guide players into the Atlas. Alright, so that's why we get Zana now. Cool. That's pretty smart. DirectX 11 as the default graphic option. Added a lightning quality option. Marauder's act of self-flagellation on the character screen is now audible. Is that needed? We need to hear him moaning. Stack deck currency can now draw from monsters. Oh, cool. Devour holes now fade away after some time. You are no longer prompted to vote on whether you want to kill or help Oak, Creighton, or there if you're not in their arenas. Oh. How will that work if... Will we be able to do it while people are waiting outside? The stun and visual effect now plays on stuns that last for 0.7 seconds or longer. Oh, they're like circle over their head. The left and right mouse buttons are no longer referred to as left mouse and right mouse. They are now left click and right click. Ah, come on. Items that provide life regeneration based on percentage of maximum life now has a range. Now displays percentage value of... Oh, right. Oh, cool. All sources of phasing now correctly change the character's appearance. The unique threshold jewel fight for survival description has been updated. The functionality remains unchanged. Whalem's chest has been updated. Continue to incrementally. Yep, good stuff. Right, okay. Harbinger Challenge League. This is already stuff we've gone over, right? Can I skip to buffs and nerfs? I'll read it. With 3.0, there are standard and hardcore variations. They have the same core mechanics. In the Harbinger League, mysterious Harbingers... They can create and command monsters from the area and empower them. We'll get charged for defeating them. One of these currency types may lead you to the source of the Harbinger incursion. If you can halt their arrival, you'll find pieces of Shadow Uniques that can be arranged to form powerful Harbinger unique items. Cool, I hope there's many. The new challenge leagues include a set of 40 challenges. When you complete 12 challenges, yeah, we looked at those, and the 24 is blue hair from Ziz. And the totem, sweet. Existing characters, new content. Right, this is important. Characters that had previously completed the Ribbon Spool Immersives will have automatically completed all mandatory quests in the Fall of Oriath and have immediate access to maps. These characters will not have any of the quest rewards from the mandatory quests in Act 5 through 10, but can receive them by talking to the quest givers. No side quests will be automatically completed, and existing characters will have to receive and complete these quests to obtain the quest rewards. Any character that had completed Act 4 in normal but had not completed the Ribbon Spool Immersives have been returned to the end of Act 4. The Ribbon Spool. Oh, right. Wow, okay, that's quite a kickback. All characters that had completed Deal with Bandits in Act 2 normal now have the new version of their chosen reward. All bandit rewards from Cruel Immersives no longer exists. Players who want to change their bandit reward choice have a one-time only action to change it by talking to Eramir and taking one of his books. These books are character locked, so if you decide that later that you don't want to change your choice, you can get rid of the book by typing destroy. This does not give you another opportunity to choose a bandit reward, so choose carefully. Prophecy's hideouts for Sing Masters have been maintained and work as normal. Cool. Rebalance around the difficulty level. Removal. The cruel... This seems like all stuff we know from beta, right? Yeah. It's just like that it's... Wait, okay, let's see where it is. Completion of Act 5 and the completion of Act 10. Okay, so we don't lose it in Act 7. That's what I was thinking. That's good. That'll make 7, 8, 9 a lot easier. So that is literally just for maps now. That should mean that like capping resistance stuff for the final Kitava patch, final Kitava fight should be very easy. That's pretty good. That's actually big. Big if true. While skill soul costs are increased, yeah, just as normal. There is a 5% XP penalty. So they're just making sure that we know that Cruel Immersives is still in the game, even though it's not called Cruel Immersives anymore. The reward from the quest deal with the band has been reworked. Right. See if anything changed for the lab. Access to the Lord's Labyrinth has been reworked. Once unlocked, each labyrinth can be accessed from the Esperance Plaza. Normal, Cruel, Immersives, and Endgame Labyrinth. The Cruel Immersives Labyrinth now require each completion of the True Trials as well as the earlier Labyrinth. Okay, so there's 3 for Cruel Immersives too. Not 6 at least. Many prophecies have been reworked. That makes sense. Prophecies are no longer bound to specific difficulty, and that's pretty good actually. The ancient rivalries chain can no longer be obtained from Navaldi. What was that one? Oh. Inakora Sai Inikama. Now it's a small chance to draw from any enemy spawned by a prophecy. Ooh, that's really cool. Zizaran's underground sewer has been extended following incidents of theft and vandalism. The exit into the warehouse structure has now been permanently sealed. The layout of the marketplace and catacombs in Act 3 have been modified to fit a new warehouse-less structure. There's achievement stuff that I honestly don't care about right now. Labyrinth balance. Access to Labyrinth has been changed. To access Labyrinth the first time, you must complete 6 ordinary trials. Cruel Labyrinth, you must complete the normal and 3 prerequisite trials. Mercies, you must complete 3 trials and the Cruel. To access Endgame Labyrinth, complete Mercies and the 6 map ones. All Labyrinth now accessed via the Aspirant Plaza. A new user interface to let you. Yeah, I like that actually. Added a waypoint. Simplified and shortened the layout of normal and cruel layouts. That's big if true. No, it's actually quite nice. Very, very fast. Means it's you can ascend before Malachi now, and especially before Act 5 so fast. It'll be like sometimes in the meta now people would like speed through because you don't always gain that much, but now it's so fast that I think everyone will always ascend very early. Killing Zizaran immediately disables the traps in his room. Added new Dark Shrine effects. All positively affect the run. All the previous that. Oh, cool. Okay, so Dark Shrines are always good now. Secret passages and Argus can now be found in Mercies and in-game labyrinths. Only be found. Oh. Additional treasure keys can be found in special chests throughout the labyrinth. These are there are 2 keys guaranteed to appear in every labyrinth run. Ooh. And they're random now, I think. Updated the description on the offering to reflect that it is now used in the Aspirant's Plaza. That's pretty cool, like actually doing Urbalab and not just speeding through the end could be more of a thing now. Pretty cool. Feels more like an actual run thing. Condos now provide 50% less chance to freeze, shock, and ignite. That's good. And 33% to Izaro? Wait, does it mean we have a 50% less chance to shock, ignite, and freeze him? Or he has a less chance to ignite us? The engine conduit balance is unchanged. Gargoyles now provide 33% less of a benefit to Zaro. Well, they were pretty fast. Curse conduits can no longer appear normal and no longer apply a curse when slain in the Cruel Labyrinth. That's a pretty great balance change. Less effective in the Cruel and Murk Labyrinths. Endgame is unchanged. He does, okay. The elemental golems can no longer appear normal. So normal lab is going to be ridiculously easy now. The charge disruptors can no longer appear in normal or cruel labs. During this variant, Izaro is now at max charge count 10, down from 15. Remove traps from Izaro's final room during the normal labyrinth. Not needed? Okay. Right, character balance. I was gonna hold my bat. I don't know where my bat is. Imaginary bat. Power charge now grant 40% in crit strikes down from 50, so that'll make it harder to go crit builds early on. Soul Leader will no longer grant physical reduced damage taken. Really? That's a huge nerf for Headhunter, or Elemental Resistance. That's a huge Headhunter nerf, in my opinion. The Silencer Curse now only affects the player's ability to cast spells and use war cries. It will not affect the ability for the player's totems to use those skills. That is a buff. Chill and Shock are now handled differently. Chill no longer slows enemies by fixed variable duration. Now Chill will slow enemies for the duration of 2 seconds by an amount based on the cold damage dealt to the enemy. A purely cold hit, which removes 10% of an enemy's life, will slow the enemy by 30% for 2 seconds, scaling linearly down to 0% at no cold damage dealt. Similarly, Shock no longer increases. It will apply a shock to a duration for 2 seconds, increase the amount of damage that shocked enemy takes based on the lightning damage dealt to the enemy. A purely lightning hit, which removes 10% of an enemy's life, will increase the damage the enemy takes by 50% for 2 seconds. That would be like huge for white and blue mobs. Increase the effect of chill and increased shock effect will increase the amount each ailment, whatever, are afflicting up to their respective caps. In other words, a player with 100% increased effect of chill will only have to remove 5% of a monster's life. Cool. So 200% is 2.5, I guess. Increasing the effective chill will not slow the monster more, it'll just make it easier to reach the 30% cap. Right. Chilled ground has a fixed slowing of 10%. Please just remove it. Shocking ground, increased damage taken by a fixed amount of 20%. Other non-hit sources of shock and chill, unless otherwise specified, will increase damage taken by 20% and slow. Okay. These changes affect the following sources of chill. Arctic armor now slows the attacker by 30%. Oh. Essence of horror now, now slows enemies by 10% for 1 second on block. Dietus. Chill ground right there. Not that important. Ooh, these changes affect the following sources of shock. Vessel of Vinctar. Huge nerf debated. Shock aura now increases the damage taken by 10%, but the shock on player still increases damage by 50%. Do these stack though? Does Vinctar stack with normal shock? Because if so, it's even more powerful. Guardian of the Minotaur. Lightning beams increase damage taken by 50%. Malachi's Loop. 20% increased damage when shocked from reaching maximum power charges. Piety's Beam. No change during Night 4. Increased damage taken by 20% in the map variant. Oh, okay. All shocking from ground from players and monsters now increased damage taken by 20. So Val Lightning Drop is sort of nerfed. Oh, Val Lightning Drop, shocking ground now increased damage taken by 15. So not 50. Less mandatory, but still useful if you have a slot for it. Damage over time reworks. Right, this is all that this was in the last manifesto. I'm just gonna look at highlighting words. I just want to like go to the actual skill balance. This is all like the rework we've seen on the beta. I'm not gonna go over those now. I want to go over the actual like Patchnotes of new stuff. The main thing I want to go over. Traps and mines are not invulnerable while they are arming and invulnerable while they are casting their skill. This means a trap thrown directly on the monster who will detonate it cannot be destroyed before it detonates. That's amazing. All minions other than Raging Spears deal more damage at lower levels. The damage bonus levels out to no change at minions level 70 for minions other than race zombies and summon skeletons. Minion level is based on the level requirement of their gem. Summon Raging Spears now deal approximately 15% less damage at all levels. Uber Elite is crying right now. They're still strong. Summon Skeletons has been renamed Summon Skeleton and has been reworked. Many of the passives and items that interact with it have been rebalanced. It now has a base cast time of 0.5 and the cost has been reduced approximately 60% at all levels. It now summons a single skeleton per cast and has been limited to 5. Summon Skeleton Warrior attack time is reduced to 0.8. Maybe we'll see more skeleton builds. And Mage has been reduced. 1.2. Increased 66% base damage. They already have good single targets, so they can be really, really good boss killers. Summon Skeleton Mage dealt 50% more damage at gem level 20 and significantly more damage at earlier gem levels. But we won't be specific. Their behavior has been tweaked and they no longer flee. Labyrinth, Helm, and Challenges for Summon Skeletons now grant 20 or 40 to summon an additional skeleton minion. Cool. As retroactive. Raised zombies had their damage increased up to 45% more damage at level 20 than previously. That is a massive buff. Just extra multiplier gem. Have fun. Have fun, summoners. Auras and curses now gain base radius as they level up as opposed to increased area of effect. Kinetic Blast can no longer deal explosion damage to the target it hit with its initial projectiles. This is unlikely to affect any previously existing encounters except in niche cases and will primarily affect fights with very large entities introduced in this patch. Right, okay, so that's just a thing for like Kitava, so you don't go like one-shotting Kitava. So that's not really a nerf to KB. I was actually expecting KB to get nerfed. KB is literally unchanged except for Kitava, yeah. Flame Blast, Incinerate, and Blade Flurry, sorry, have had their, spoiler alert, have had their more damage bonuses changed to more damage with hits and ailments. Oh, right. Meaning they will still apply to the hit and ailments it causes, but not to on-hit created damage over time like decaying. Right. That's fine. I was scared there for a second. Blade Vortex has added more spell damage scaling, changed to more damage with hits for each blade. Separately, more damage with each ailment for each blade. Didn't change anything, right? Flame Blast, 55%. This just changes to like make sure it's okay with the ailment stuff. Fire Nova, mind damage is now restricted to hits and ailments. Cyclone, additional melee range now applies to unarmed attacks. Cyclone now also uses pathfinding to determine where the skill will take the player as opposed to moving in a direct line. That's amazing. Herald of Ash. Okay, they have a Herald gem tag now. All the Heralds. Herald of Ash secondary effect no longer ignites. This is a nerf. Instead, enemies slain near enemies are burned based on the overkill damage. This description on Herald of Ash has been updated to properly reflect what it does. That is a big nerf because of the new ignition gem. I can't remember what it's called. You guys know what I mean. Vortex now deals 40% more damage when cast on a Frostbolt. Ice now deals 40% more damage when cast on a Frostbolt. That is big buffs, but it's still too clunky. Give it like 40% more damage and 100% more AoE. So it's like you have a chance to hit things. Then it would be even worth using it when it's clunky. Caustic Arrow. Damage over time grows more quickly as it levels up to 765 base chaos damage per second at gem level 20, up from 550. Wow. It is now also modified by projectile damage. Is that on the beta already? Because that sounds new. I mean, I don't even know everything on the beta, right? I've only been able to test like 3 things, so some of this will be news to me, even if it is already on the beta. Contagion deals 10% more damage. Oh, let's do Contagion builds now. +1 base area of effect radius every 5 levels. That's cool. Essence Drain deals 43% more damage at gem level 20, scaling upwards a higher level. Blight deals 25% more damage. Righteous Fire now deals 20% less damage to enemies who deal 20% more, up to 39% at gem level 20, down from 58. It's a nerf. Fire Trap damage over time grows more quickly as it levels. 200 damage increase at level 20. Scorching Ray down to 25% less. Does not lock onto targets if you're holding your standing attack key. Temporary Chain is no longer affected by its own duration modifying. Temporal Chains. Duration has been modified to account for this change. Okay, cool. Discipline now grants less energy shield at level 2 onwards. That is like too many ES nerfs. Take away one of them. I'm hoping to read through all of this and at least, based on feedback, something with energy shield has been changed. Because I wish I could see the GGG stats right now. And I want to see what amount of players are actually playing CI builds right now. How many people have that node allocated? That's what I want to see. And if it's less than 5%, then how do you justify keeping the nerfs? If it's above 15, then sure. I don't believe that's the case. Temporal Chains is no, blah blah. Glacial Cascade damage has been increased, and yeah, we know about that. I know about that. That's good. Glacial Cascade, so it's like you can actually convert it with Hatred now as the TLDR. +1 range. The movement speed cap on players' race specters have been doubled. Summoners are getting a lot of love. Summoners might be pretty meta. Summon totems have 40% less life and take 45% less damage. This will impact life leech from attacking enemies and the damage dealt by righteous fire totems. Hey. Projectile weakness now causes projectiles to pierce cursed enemies, up from 50% chance. That makes sense with the pierce rework. Shield charge now specifically gains more damage from hits as it travels and not for any damage over time. Bladefall's width is now correctly modified by increases. Wait, let me reread the shield charge. So if I'm just spamming shield charge, without moving, will it do less damage? Will I actually have to go like thump thump? That's what I'm reading here. Weird. That's a nerf. Bladefall's width is correctly modified by increases to area of effect. Its width has been reduced slightly to compensate. Yes. That's a huge nerf for shield charge builds. Oh. Somehow one of my mods actually unbanned frying pans. I don't know who did that. Don't do that. Right. Viper Strike base duration. Wait, Blade Fall. Brightly modified AoE. Width has been reduced slightly. Lightning Strike now gains 1% increased lightning damage per 1% quality instead of 2% of projectiles piercing. Okay. Puncture's description has been updated. Puncture now applies bleeding for 8 seconds. Viper Strike's damage has been reduced to 115% from 130 up to 141 at level 20, down from 179. Viper Strike's 60% chance to poison on hit, down from 100, and Viper Strike's poison now has a base duration of 4. Now, I'm not 100% sure, but it looks like they just nerfed Viper Strike. From what I just read, Viper Strike just got nerfed. Wait a minute, so is this like 1st of April patch notes? Is this a joke? Weird. Static Strike is 10% chance to shock at all levels, gains 1% increased shock effect per gem level. Shock Nova now has 20%. So these are just like, because of all the reworks, just like increases in effects. On Shock, Iceberg, Glacial Hammer. Hey, this is a buff! This is a buff! I was honestly expecting a more buff. The description of Stone Golem has been updated to reflect that it may not always taunt. May save you, may not. While skills can no longer be supported by a Spell Echo or Multi-Strike, Vol Rain of Arrows now gains base radius as it levels up. Vol Groundstone now gains base radius. Support Gem Balance. Add a description to all support gems to clarify what can and cannot be supported by each gem. That's pretty good. Cold support and added lightning support have been buffed, bringing them on par with the added chaos support gem. Added cold now does 35% more damage, added lightning does 17.5. So thankfully we have path building to make sure we know exactly what is the best for us. Melee damage on full life has now been renamed damage on full life. Huh? At gem level 1 now, it grants 30% more damage while on full life with supported attack skills. That wasn't in the beta. It is notably no longer restricted to melee attacks and physical damage specifically. That is huge. Big if true. Damage on full life support now grants 1% increased damage for 1% quality. Now has the attack tag but no longer has the melee tag. Wow. That won't work on SRS at all, right? SRS isn't tagged attack anywhere. Or is it? I'm gonna look at that real quick. PoE SRS. I don't wonder if it'll work on SRS. Spell and minion duration fire, but they have an attack? But they don't work, right? I don't think it'll work. Anyway. I'm sure chat will tell me in a second. It worked in 2.6. It is a tag. Maybe it'll be updated in the tag. That'll be huge. And I wonder, do you think it'll be, because if you use it on totems, like Warchief totems, it's on when you are on full life. Do you think it'll be the same as SRS? So if you're a hybrid build, this is just a huge buff. Like, do you think it'll use the SRS life or our life? Because on totems it uses our life, or both. Big if true. Anyway. I think it's if totem is... No, it's both. You can check on your tooltip. Anyway. Melee physical damage now also counts 30% more damage with bleeding and poison. Cool. Physical projectile attack damage now supports 3... Yeah. Bleed rework things. Poison support now has 60% chance to poison on hit, down from 100. Increased burning damage has been renamed burning damage support. 35% more burning, up to 54% more burning at gem level 20. Trap support now deals 20% more trap damage at level 1 rather than more trap damage to hits, up to 39%. Ooh, that's good. Remote mine changes. Who likes mines though? More mine damage to hits. Oh, it's just any damage now. That's good. Weapon elemental damage report has been renamed. Oh, dude. Elemental damage with attack support. It's been reduced in power at all levels from 40% to 35%. It's okay, we'll just use the full life one. Up to 54% more. Huh? But what was it before at full? Either way, 54 sounds pretty heavy. Rapid Decay has been renamed Swift Affliction. In addition to other sources of damage over time, it now affects damage ailments inflicted with supported skills. Reduces their duration. It now grants 25% more damage over time for supported skills at gem level 1. Inner rate has been reworked. I like the inner rate change, but it doesn't give onslaught anymore. I think it should still give that as well. So it gives you like flat lightning, and then when you unslaying a shocked enemy, it gives you another flat lightning. So you get 2 different flat lightnings. So it's not as good for bosses, pretty good for clearing. Ice Bite has now been reworked. 50% chance to gain a frenzy charge, and we also get the flat article. That's, I kind of want like inner rate to be the same, where it still gives onslaught. Like Ice Bite still gives frenzy and gives flat article. So they're both pretty cool, but I still want inner rate change a little bit. We'll see how it works. See if we use it. Hypothermia, 20% increased chill effect. Chain support damage penalty now only applies to hits. So chain for degens is going to be pretty good. Pierce has been reworked. Items and skills. So basically, this is actually, like, I think immediately everyone's knee-jerk reaction to all the Pierce changes, which is that we can't get a 100% chance to pierce anymore. You can just increase the amount of targets you can pierce. Everyone initially had like, ew, but you know what? It's actually kind of nice. I think most people realize that it is a good thing. I like it. Generally, you're never going to pierce more than, what, 10? Could be like the most you would ever pierce. I love the new pierce. It makes it so much better at lower levels without big investment. Infractum now grants always pierce with arrows. Drill Link now grants arrows to pierce, deal 50% increased damage. Nice visions. Just like some pierce changes. They're not that important to go over. It's pretty cool changes though. Item balance. As part of the removal of cruel and that's so creepy. This is the Pee-wee soundtrack. The fuck? As part of removal of cruel, many divination card location and weightings have been adjusted. Please save divination cards. Make them great. There are so many really good balanced divination cards. Alright, how do I get this? There. Energy shield is a defensive mechanics undergone a review. Generally speaking, all sources of energy shield has been reduced by approximately 20%. Elrond's crafted. Maximum energy shield can only be crafted onto amulets with 8 chaos, down from 1 exalted orb. That's basically the same thing on hardcore. JK. All local energy shield modifiers on items, as well as the base energy shield of items, have been reduced to higher levels. Very low level items will see a slight increase or no change, scaling up to a 33% reduction. We'll have to apply this to local percentage to compensate all inherent values of armor and evasion. The defense granted by all body armor can increase to higher levels by 20. These changes will not apply to existing modifiers, but will apply to existing base types. Consequently, energy shield values of many unique items have also been updated. The following mods can now be crafted. So they've increased the amount of flat energy shield we can craft. That is decent. Local added energy shield have been rebalanced at all levels. Early mods now run more energy shield, dropping 36 to 45 at the highest tier. Best that would offer a rare item or 4-linked item now just offer a rare 4-linked item. Basalt Fast now grant 15% additional. I actually like that. Because Basalts were OP in my opinion. Because like they were so close to Taste of Hate. If you weren't using Taste of Hate for its damage purpose. So Basalt Nerf was warranted. Now, I'm gonna ask my chat. I've seen all the ES changes here. Can I go on a little run, or has anything with ES been changed? Have they tuned back any of the nerfs? I just want to I want to ask now so I don't rage and then people tell me to read on. Have they toned back anything? No. Okay, right. They lied to us. People were saying, oh, they've just super harshly done the ES changes on the beta. Don't worry, Zizaran. Don't worry. This isn't another Mind Over Matter. This isn't another Mind Over Matter where they completely trash it because, oh, but they know things we don't. What, they knew they were going to buff it 2.5 years in the future? Come on. And people kept telling me oh, they've just severely nerfed it on the beta. Don't worry, Zizaran. ES will be, yeah, okay. I don't like ES and I wanted it nerfed, but even I feel it was, people have been telling me this, but even I feel it was slightly harsh, but don't worry, they'll definitely buff it after the beta. Fuck off, will they buff it after the beta? I knew this would happen. This is exactly the thing that would happen. Of course they weren't gonna buff it on the... Ah! We knew this was gonna happen. Of course they weren't gonna change it back. And of course it needed a nerf, but they've nerfed it too much. There are too many nerfs. Please show us the stats of how many people have actually taken CI on the beta. Please show me that. How many people have actually taken CI? What percentage of the population do you guess? Chat, do you guys want to guess? Give me a guess of how many. Write the percentage of how many players you think have CI on the beta. And don't get me wrong, I'm not unreasonable. I wanted ES to be nerfed as well, and I saw the need for it to be nerfed. But you gotta remember, you've removed the rings. You've removed the nodes behind CI, effectively giving no reason to go CI or low life at all. And people are saying, well, it's a budget low life. Right, but it's so budget that it's gonna be worse than life anyway. So why would you do it? You would just save up until you can go low life, right? You've removed the amulets, the rings. The amulets are still there, and that's good. However, you've also reduced the base type, the percentage values, discipline, and Valpact. You gotta remember, and I love the Valpact change. I love the fact that they made CI more different than life. I think that's really cool. I'm all in favor of a lot of the ES nerfs, but they need to remove at least one. At least one of the nerfs has to go. If you're not gonna have instant leech, if you're not gonna have a good source of leech on the ES, you need to at least remove either the discipline nerf, the ring nerf, or the nodes behind CI, or the base nerf. You don't need to remove multiple, just one of them would be everything. Just one nerf. That would fix it. That would make, you would have oh, I'm going ES because it's better for this and this. I'm going life because it's better for attack builds and leech. Just give us back the nodes behind CI or the base percentage ES. Just needs the nodes behind CI and CI will be viable. Yeah, that's literally all we want. Please give us back the nodes behind CI and all is well in the CI kingdom. That's literally it. There's no reason at all right now. Nobody can give me one reason that I'll accept right now. And I'm not being unreasonable because low life will just... In fact, especially on the higher end of low life will have more ES than CI can ever get because of presence of Chayula. So low life is better, and it's just going to promote such a big discrepancy between a casual player and an elitist player. So people that completely no life the game and forsake all real life stuff, like me, Daniel, Embu, stuff like that, we're going to have presence of Chayula, we're going to have our sick thing shabs, and we're going to be rolling around, and people are going to be like, oh, Ziz, can you make a build guide for this? And I'll be like, alright. So first you need 700 Exalted Orbs. Then you can have 9,000 Energy Shield like me. I don't want that to be a thing. I don't want that to be a thing. I want it to be accessible. I don't want the game to only be I want casual players to be able to do fun things too. I don't want it to be for people like me. I don't want things to be gated behind people like me. Give CI nodes back. Mirrors though. I think the leech thing is very cool. Yeah, now personally, I want the leech or the instant leech completely gone from the game and gated behind investment. And I don't even mind if ES can't have that investment. I also don't like the fact that Life can pick up Valpact and instantly have it. But I don't care which they nerf. Okay, actually, I don't want Discipline buffed again. Discipline's fine. But either the percentage ES and base type of like ES gear should be upped. Or nodes behind CI. I think the best solution is the nodes behind CI. You'll never hit 100 this league because you only play Gimmicky 15k ES builds. 2 of my level 100s for life. And thank you for all the resubs and stuff during this. I'll thank you guys after because I have no alerts on. I do appreciate it. Right, okay. Rant over. Let's continue. I knew it wouldn't be changed. Man, Rory lied to me in his poem. Rory lied to me in his poem. Added new magic and rare weapon suffixes for ailments. Mods which provide chance to cause bleeding on hit and chance to poison on hit are local to the weapon. And if you missed anything so far, it'll be available on YouTube later. Alpha ignition, chance to ignite, freeze, shock, bleeding. 2 of bleeding. Oh, it's probably for different items. Bleeding, poison. Cool. Following dual modifiers, chance to freeze has been upgraded. That is pretty big. Big if true. Did someone just say ES is fine because of Game of Thrones? That's like me saying ES is not fine. Look at mammoths. What? Strength-based shields now have an implicit that ground life. Dexterity-based shields now have an implicit that grounds increased movement speed. Implicit of a hybrid dex int shields have been reworked. They now grant either chance to dodge attacks or chance to dodge spells. Added new mods for shields which restricted specific shield types based on their attribute. These grant increased elemental, increased physical, increased armor and block chance. I feel like I feel slightly more dead inside after that rant. Okay, that's just new mods added to shields. That is pretty cool. Added new prefixes for armor. That's the hybrid one, so we can get more life now. Arena's crafted mod. Wait, all uniques that previously granted poison a hit now only got a 60% chance to put. Oh, 60% chance. Can you stack to consuming danks at least? Sources of increased weapon elemental damage being replaced with increased elemental damage with attack skills. Floridian's mod +1 skeleton down from +2. Katarina's craft mod for ignite. Around 6 to 10 up from 2.5. Leo's crafted mod now reduces the damage over time, taken by 5 down from 10. Wow! Decay from Essence of Delirium now deals 500 damage per second down from 750. Can you believe that it was on 1000 initially? Essence of Delirium on a body armor now reduced the chaos damage taken over time by 25 down from 50. But nobody was using that anyway. Did that really need to be nerfed? Unique item balance. Do I dare control F Vinctor? If it's been nerfed further. The following changes can be obtained by re-rolling the items mods with the Divine Orb. 1000 ribbons, the added fire and cold damage now each applied to spells. This is a buff. Really good to find early on. Ming's Heart. Range of 5 to 10. That's a buff. The Taming. That's a huge buff. 5%. That's not that much. That's it. Wow. The taming chance to freeze shock and ignite has been increased by 10%. Increased elemental damage with attacks has been increased to 30. All elemental resist has been increased to 20-30. More elemental damage increased to 30. Sorry, increased. Increased damage per freeze shock increased to 20. But it's still like, yeah, okay. Hand of Thought Emotion no longer adds 1 to 3 lightning damage per 10 attack. Now runs 1 to 5. Oh, so they were buffed, but you can no longer dual wield them. And Hawa is 1 to 10 instead of 1 to 6. Furthest Lead Sprinkler is 4 to 7 instead. Infernal Mantle has been reduced to 25. That was 100% before, or 50%? Higher. I'm not too interested in all the like minor item changes. That'll just take forever to go over, and it's not that interesting. Let's just search for things that do matter. Vingtar. That's the one from earlier. Vezda Vingtar no longer has damage leech as mana during Foskey fight. Okay, so nothing changed. It's the third one. The original versions of... Oh my god, kill me. Right, where were we? Right. Stack Harvest reduced to 1 still. Grand Spectrum now limited to 3. Right, let's see. Is there anything really important besides all like the minor item ones? Items that inflict bleeding or poison. All weapons which were previously inflicted bleeding or poison on hit or critical strike now only inflict bleeding or poison on hits or critical strikes with that specific weapon. That's fine. Makes sense. For drill melee critical strikes, cause bleeding has been changed to 50% chance to cause bleeding with melee critical strikes with this weapon. Sliver tongues, we can't fake offhand it, that's fine. Sliver tongue now has a 50% chance to inflict bleeding with piercing arrows down from 100%. The Blood Reaper now has a 50% chance to inflict bleeding on hit down from 100%. Many other weapons which inflicted bleed on hit with 100% now only have a 25% chance. Blood Reaper, Azirius' Favor, Jack the Axe, Rigwell Savagery, Rive, Olnatol's Kiss, Olnatol's Embrace, Slivertongue, all weapons with the Vegan Crafted mod, and all along with the Tor of Ender mod. Wow. Check Death's Oath. Is that a major one? Death's Oath. The Chaos Damage over time is now a skill that activates on equipping Death's Oath and is modified by socketing support gems, as well as modifiers that affect the auras, an area of effect, damage over time, and chaos damage. It now also grants 60 to 7 maximum life. And the physical is now attack damage each life. Please let me be the Roa from Mudflats. Please let me just run around. Please, that would be so cool. Imagine if you can actually get it to proper damage. Voice of the Storm no longer grants increased critical strike based on your uncapped. No longer grants increased critical strike chance based on your uncapped lightning rest. Instead, it grants increased critical strike chance based on your lightning receipt, which is typically capped at 75. That's my favorite item! It was? Why though? Couldn't you nerf it so it's like 0.5? Or 0.2? Who the fuck is gonna wear... Oh my god. 75? And Choir of the Storm probably gives you negative resist, so you get what, 35? Come on, man. Too easy to calculate? No, I agree it was overpowered. Come on. I agree it was overpowered, but you can nerf it without completely batting it. Like, they nerfed Biscos reasonably. Actually, Biscos is probably still OP. I heard you play Spark still. That's my favorite item, man. No longer gives night minus 30% lightning. Okay. It's still shit. Yeah, honestly, that was the coolest mechanic. Now, and I've talked about this before, I understand why it needed a nerf. It was completely OP, because on one of my builds, I managed to get 380% crit on my amulet, so I removed most of my crit on the tree. Sure, nerf it. But you could, like, tone it down to 0.25 or 0.5, right? It was a cool mechanic where it actually changed how valuable lightning res was on gear. It single-handedly made, oh wow, I found 110% lightning res topaz. So if you had like all res on it, lightning res, and an open suffix for crafting like fire and lightning on a topaz ring, that was huge, right? That was really cool. Isn't it still a really good army? I don't feel like 50% increased lightning damage will be worth it when you can get something like 35% crit multi, energy shield, percentage energy shield, and 35% crit. I don't feel like it's going to be better than a good rare now. Search for Shav. There's no changes we didn't know about. That's fine. Right, if there's any specific items that I should go over, just let me know. Courier charge. Yeah, exactly. I'm going to be using courier charge, which hasn't been nerfed. Oh, okay. The lightning bolt. It's not that big. Rip Vinctar. Vinctar wasn't nerfed, Crystalia, at all. Vinctar is still the most overpowered thing in the game. Ring of Blades. I think I know about that one. That's fine. Searing Touch. Oh, no, that's fine. You see the Necro support nerf? Nope. Melee critical strike lower to... Oh, that's fine. The shock part of Vinctar was changed. It's a 20% damage nerf. It's not an actual change. We lost mana leech? Sure, we'll get mana from something else. Leech on boots. Whispering Ice. Huh? There's no Whispering Ice in here. Memer. Right. Type Shaper. Right, actually, let's just see if there's anything else. I can't believe the voice of the storm changed. That was so cool, because like it really like promoted smart thinking with gear. Yeah, I love the Kark Exchange. Kark Exchange. Oh yeah, Doriana's Fist on was saying. I want to see that. Oh, right. Yeah, I've seen that. That was pretty cool. That was bugged to shit on the beta. Shaper changes are good. We'll probably get to them soon, right? What's this? Passive tree changes. Right, due to significant changes, many bleed burning, right. Passive skills that granted melee attacks chance to bleed now. All attacks, not just melee. Cool. All weapons. Added a new Keystone, Perfect Agony. Added a new Keystone near Duelist Crimson Dance. Dirty Technique near the Duelist. Big here. Alright, it's just minor changes on the skill tree, I think. Hail counts on the items? Yeah, Ming's heart was big. I saw that. Already done, Zenders. If you're late, I'm not gonna go back to anything above this line. Just rewatch it on YouTube later. Due to changes in Shock and Chill, there's just changes with that. That makes sense. They're probably not that important. Yeah, looked at Sack Harvest. Ascendancy tree balance. Yeah, already looked at that. So as I said, if you missed something, watch the replay later on YouTube. You do TLDR too. Ascendancy tree balance. Pathfinder Master Herbalist now grants. Is these all just the changes we know already that are already in Path of Building? 60% chance of poison while using a flask. Juggernaut, 30% chance. I think we already know these. No. Chieftain, Tukahama, Warheld, now grants totems reflect 50%. I think we have that already. Deadeye, powerful precision skill, now grants projectiles pierce nearby enemies and 100% increased crit chance for piercing projectiles. It no longer grants chance to pierce that drops slowly based on the difference. Cool. Inquisitor Sanctity skill, now 30% chance to consecrate ground when hit, as well as 30% chance to create consecrated ground on kill, up from 25. This is a buff. Inquisitor Pious Path skill, now grants 6% of max energy shield and mana regenerated per second on consecrated ground. The Inquisitor Righteous Providence skill now grants 20% increased effects of non-damaging ailments. The Hierophant Sanctuary of Thought skill now grants 30% of maximum mana as energy, up from 25. Cool. Pursuit of Faith now grants 6% increased damage per enemy killed, and 10% while you have a totem up from 4 and 8. That's a buff. That's actually pretty big. That's like starting to... I wouldn't say that I want to roll a Hierophant yet, because I think the less damage is too big. Hierophant still... It should be down to like 4 or 5. Then I'd probably think about Hierophant. The less is from 8 to 7. The Hierophant's buffed. That's good. It's currently the worst thing ever. Patient Reaper now grants 70% increased recovery life, mana, and energy shield if you killed an enemy. Up from 60. Why do they hate Trickster so much? Trickster Swift Killer grants +1 maximum and increased 5% damage over time. Assassin's Toxic Delivery has been reduced to 30% more damage. Down from 100. They hate Assassin. And the Assassin like power, this one 0.5 is now... Oh, +1 max power charges at least. And +2 max power charges. I have no idea purposely. In the skill tree changes, it's noted that Annihilation Blast Radius is now in closed loops. Well, that's bad. It just like made the witch tree better by putting that like transfer bait with the health, but... Commander of Darkness skill now grants 3% attacking cost rate to you and allies per down from 5%. Wow, I thought people were joking and said Necro was nerfed. And 30% increased damage by your auras. Huh? And 30% increased damage for you and allies affected by auras instead of 10% per aura. Huh. So like, sort of a buff if you're investing lightly into it. Like if you're running less than 3 auras. But why didn't they just make it affect minions only? Interesting. The Ascendant has been heavily modified. Path to Marauder skill now grants 2 passive skill points in addition to allowing you to place passive skill points. Ascendant getting some big buffs. Ascendant Juggernaut skill and a 20% chance to gain endurance charge when you are hit, up from 10. Berserker, 20% attack speed if you've taken a search hit recently. That's a nerf? Oh no, it's a buff because it's movement speed as well. That's huge. Wow. Oh, wow, I just thought of something. Big. The Ascendant Raider skill now grants a 10% chance to gain a frenzy charge when you hit a rare or unique enemy, rather than on kill, and 10% increased movement speed rather than 25% chance to avoid. Oh, that's big as well. Especially for this patch where we still haven't like, we don't have fucked frenzy charges yet. The Ascendant's Deadeye skill now grants projectile gain damage as they travel further, dealing up to 50% increased damage up to targets, up from 30. The Deadeye now grants 30% increased projectile speed, but no longer grants 50% chance to bleed with attacks. As part of the Pierce rework, the Deadeye Ascendant's really good now. The Ascendant's Pathfinder, 30% increased fast while using a flask, up from 25. 10% movement speed, 10% chance for your flask to not consume charges, and 50% chance to gain a flask charge when you deal a critical strike. No longer has flask charges gained, 50% chance to avoid shock. Okay, so it lost some things, gained some others. That's cool. Ascendant Elemental is now grants Elementalist conflict for 6 seconds when you kill a rare or unique, up from 4. That's pretty fucking good. Damage penetrates 6, especially in temp chains maps. 6% of enemy elemental resistances, up from 5. Plus 1 golem and 50% reduced to reflect. It no longer grants increased damage for which you have a matching golem, or 4% reduced elemental damage taken. The Ascendant Necromancer skill grants 30% increased damage for your allies, 20% chaos rest for you and allies, and 20% increased duration. No longer grants 15% effective offering spells. I don't know, I feel like we're going to be playing a lot of Scion. Ascendant Slayer changes grants 40% increased damage to rare and unique, up from 30. 50% reduced physical damage taken. I feel like it's going to be taken for so many things. Life Elite does not stop a full life. Oh. Wow, that's big. It no longer grants 10% overkill damage as Leech's life. Oh. 5% more block chance on the Gladiator one. Attacks of 20% chance to bleed. And meta again. Inquisitor grants 30% chance to conk ground. 25% increased elemental damage. Small buffs. These Inquisitor one's not very good. 50% chance to gain a power charge when you play in totem, up from 20. Wow. Hello. The Ascendant Guardian now grants you and your affected allies 10% increased attack, cast movement speed instead of 12. 5% additional block chance. 25% reduced effective curses. Assassin, 20% chance to get a power charge with hit. You guys enemies that are on full life, up from 10. 1.5 increased crit strike chance, up from 1. I feel like we're going to be playing, most assassin builds will probably be Scion. So you can go Scion Elementalist or Scion Slayer. The Ascendant Trickster skill now grants 50% increased recovery rate of life mana recovery. And 15 mana regen per second if you've used a movement skill recently. Rather than 100%. I feel like I just read a Pantheon power. That's the Trickster one's so bad. The Ascendant Saboteur, 10% movement speed if you place the mine. Penetrates 6%. It no longer grants 6 LE run. Oh, okay. Yeah, the Saboteur and Trickster ones are so bad. Monster Balance. They're being cured of their infestation for now. Dreadwill monsters can now be found in the climb. Your crow. Pale Council encounters being rebalanced and in general more difficult. Defeating the Pale Council will earn you one of the 4 new unique items. That's pretty cool. I want new endgame boss encounters. That's pretty cool. I'm yawning so much. Monsters that are created are part of now prophecy. Use prophecy holders level to determine their level up to capital level 70. In map areas, monsters created by prophecies will be the same as the map area. Many unique monsters, which would be hilarious if you got level 99 prophecies. It would be OP. Imagine the frog or rat ones if they were level 99. It's like, oh my god, I just leveled up in one map. Monsters that are created. Oh yeah. Many unique monsters which were previously immune to elements have had their immunities removed, with the exception of Freeze. Notably, this includes several Beyond Demons, the Aziri Trial, Azir herself, Shaper, and his guardians, amongst others. So you can't freeze them, but that's pretty cool. Volatile Flameblood, blah blah blah, being disabled, replaced by Volatile Core. Volatile Core created an entity on death. Okay, so they didn't want to make white and blue balls and just made a red ball, I'm guessing. That's easier. That makes sense. Banshee monsters in Crystal Lanes are now being renamed Shriekers. Damage dealt by a lightning orb used by rare monsters and ash breaches have been reduced by 8%. It can no longer stun players. Wow. Teasers of the new uniques from Pale Council. We'll look at that now. Thank you. Aeneas Epiphany. 63 max life, 25 movement speed, 5% increased in 5% increased damage per power charge. And damage, by the way, not spell damage. 25% chance that if you would gain power charge, you instead gain up to your maximum number of power charge. Interesting. Ooh! Discharge. Interesting. Wow. Neat if true. Volker's Guidance. 17 to 28 spells and attacks, 67 life. 37 cold rest, 50 less % poison duration. On us or that we deal? I'm guessing that we deal. Yeah, that we deal. Cold damage can poison. Cold skills have a 20% chance to poison on hit. But will our cold damage can poison, and that'll actually mean that our cold damage will increase the poison damage, right? Like, our poison damage will be based on cold? Is that what it means? Am I reading this wrong? Any savvy people have, like, seen Reddit posts about this or something? Yes? Cool. That's massive. That's huge. Chain poison doesn't do damage anymore! Cool. Frostblade's poison. Rose and Malphas can now enrage if you destroy their nests. Pale Blackguard is now enraged when below 75% life, up from 50. Plague Wretch is now returned to his sabbatical and is once again taking up residence in Chamber of Sins while he works on his memoirs. Plague Wretch. Pee-wee Plague Wretch. I'm bad with names. What's Plague Wretch? Oh, shit. Oh. Oh, no. Oh, not this guy again. Wasn't he nerfed or removed because everyone died? Didn't he have insane degen? Isn't this the thing that, like, randomly, like, if you got cursed by Vuln, you were gone? I'm pretty sure I remember being scared of him. Ha! That would be funny. We all dead. Yeah, I thought that was him. I'm like, huh. As soon as I saw the picture, I was like, this looks terrifying and familiar. Okay. We are excited to hear about all his journeys. Bastards. Saying Hillock will guarantee that he drops a 3-socket, 3-color starter weapon for your class. Could be 3 linked too. Marcus the Defaced has had his item drops greatly reduced due to his proximity to the marketplace waypoint. Okay. Tormented spirits no longer possess hidden monsters. Well, like Devourers Underground. The average experience per monster has been slightly reduced at high levels. It disappeared. It's gone. We saved in too far. It's dead now. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm calm. One, 2. I mean, like, I don't care. This doesn't affect me, right? I've said this time and time again, right? This doesn't affect players like me. It doesn't affect Lulzy. It doesn't affect Steox or Baked or whatever, right? We don't have a life. You can't nerf us. It'll make us take 3 more days. Do you know how long 3 more days of our time is for a casual player? Let's say a casual player plays 2 or 4 hours per day. I do 24-hour sessions. Do you know how long 3 more... Right. So let's see right now. My last level 100 was like 6 or 7 days. So let's say 7, right? 24 hours. 168 hours. Now say you're a casual player and you play 2 or 3 hours a day. Let's say 3. That's 56 days. Now you also got to remember that casual players don't know the game as well and aren't efficient. So let's say it takes a casual player maybe 12 days. 11 or 12. Let's say 11. Say it's like a dedicated casual player that knows a lot about the game. 11 times 24 divided by 3. 88 days. So if, depending on how slightly this nerf is, casual players will not be able to get a level 100 outside of the Future Legacy extended 4-month league. Like, as I said, it won't affect the high-end players, but I want the game to be accessible, and I want a new player to be able to say, I'm gonna push really hard this league, I only have a few hours after work, but I have level 100 as my goal. I'm only gonna play one character, because I don't have a lot of time, but I want that as a goal. I want new players to be able to have that as a realistic goal. Like, it's not like level 100 is this insane thing that grants you loads, right? You don't like, nothing exciting happens when you hit level 100. There are no fireworks. There's no like, number 15 has hit level 100. There should be an alert when you hit level 100 at least, no matter what. Level 100, like, it takes a while. It's dedicated work. It wouldn't be spammy to hit a global message whenever someone hits level 100. But right now, there's no reason to do it except for like, you know, you set it as a personal goal, right? It's like the same as hitting 100 Exalted Orbs. Is if that's your goal, that's great. Good on you. But I want casual players or people that aren't me or people that... I want people to be able to have that as a goal. Am I asking for too much here? Am I being unreasonable? Tell me if I am. I don't feel like I'm being unreasonable by saying that should be a goal that a casual player should be able to attain. I feel like they're trying to like... Yes, I'm being unreasonable. What, you think it shouldn't be a goal for new players? Okay, I'll stop caring about casuals then. I will stop caring. None of the nerfs they do will affect me in the long term. We'll do a straw poll. Let's see. Straw poll. Should level 100 be reachable by a casual player? No, only advanced players should be able to hit level 100. Yes, casual players 3 hours a day should be able to obtain level in a league. I would like 5 to 6 hour players to be able to reach level 100. So we have a middle ground here. So I've made the advanced players, only advanced players, so like 8 hours plus, casual players, or, right. So choose which one you want. Choose which ones you want. I want it to be open for casual players. I don't want an elitist game. I don't want it to be based around people with 8 hours a day plus. I've never seen so many votes in a poll. For we don't care. I should have added that. No one cares aside from their low lifers. I'm not saying that every casual player is going to push for level 100, but when it's not something that gives you a huge power boost or advantage, I want it to be... I know several casual players, or like people that don't play as much as me, like Crystalia recently like pushed pretty hard and got level 100. How many days did it take you to level 100, Crystalia? I feel like it should be at least an option. I don't see why it shouldn't be. "14 days played in Soul Saffron." Right. Around 1.5 months IRL. How many hours per day? And thank you, Crane. There's no alerts at the moment, so I'll thank all resubs and subs at the end. Two to 3 hours a day is casual. Depends on your definition. I feel like this does affect us, by the way, sort of. I've said this since last time. They slightly reduce XP. All they succeeded in doing was making the number of builds most people are willing to play get way smaller. Yeah. For sure. I didn't see it last time. It's because you sent it again. Like right now, the only builds that I'm willing to reach level 100 with are stuff like Valspark, Val Fireball, EK, right? So you're only going to do it on the most slow build. Like, I don't know if anyone can imagine grinding it on like Blade Vortex or Cleave. That'd be horrible. 8 hours a day? Cool. Pretty sure most people are shouting they hate casuals. Am I the only person who don't hate casual players? Am I the only one who wants the game to be accessible for everyone? Just at different levels? Map boss life has been adjusted. In general, map... Oh, let's see. I wonder how much they increased the rewards by. In general, map boss life has been increased significantly, and most mapping boss encounters within the same tier will have similar total life pools. The gap between the life of tier 15 bosses and tier 16 guardians is much smaller. The life of tier 16 guardians remains unchanged. Let's see. Where do they talk about the new rewards? Added new mods which can roll on all map tiers as prefixes. These mods cause Solaris Fanatics, Solaris Fanatics, and Ghosts to inhabit the map. Fixed a bug where map bosses drop loot. I'm like, as much as they are like huge nerfs on everything, I'm still excited to try everything. I'm like pretty happy to adapt to new things. They might have like, I don't want to judge it too heavily because they might have changed boss drop rates without telling us, right? Control F density? Oh, now I'm scared. Pass. Breaches can now be encountered in 10% of maps by default. A sexton mod has been added, which guarantee a breach. By the way, I want to show you guys a picture of the new strand. You guys want to see? The picture of the new strand, by the way. Picture of the new strand. Look at that density. Look at that density. Are you guys excited? Look how clean and sleek it is. The thing about Strand, which is so nice now, is that you can go in and you can go AFK without being worried. Spider Forest tier 11 shape confirmed. New graphics. The Shaper now prevents players from opening portals while fighting him. What? The Sana has 50% more life during Shaper. The grace period when re-entering encounter mid-fight has been reduced to 3 seconds. Huh? I'm confused. Did they just buff logout macros and nerf people actually using portals? I don't get it. I don't get it. Why did they buff logout macros? Are they removing them? I know they're not going to because DCs would be too penalizing. Lair of the Hydra. Hydra teleport shot cooldown has been increased to 25 seconds. Down from 20. Reduce the damage dealt by Hydra turrets by 10%. Reduce their firing rate by up to 30 as the life drops. Increase the damage of the bars and doom arrow by 20%. That already did quite a lot. You're trying to stop people from selling Shaper. No, they're not. Because you can still sell Shaper. From opening portals while fighting him. You can still enter and just be in the safe area. They're only like preventing you from putting a portal in the Shaper area itself. Weird. These are long. I definitely have to do a TLDR at the end. Overgrown Ruin. The boss room's orientation have been flipped, making it safer to approach the boss. The boss has been moved further back into the room. Oh, cool. That's really good. Armory now has its own secret chest instead of using the Labyrinth. Lucius, Midnight Hell, and the Cursed King increase the cooldown of Wolf Barrage from 10 to 15. Reduce the damage reduction the boss gains during the Wolf Barrage. It will take more damage during the barrage than previously. Cool. Great World, Midnight Hell, and Cursed King now correctly kill most entities created during the fight on death without killing other monsters. Promenade, Blackheart Tempest Unique have a longer cast time for their Lightning Thorn skill. Oh, that's amazing. Thank you. The Goddess of Justice now uses her Warp additionally more conditionally. Now uses his Hide ability less frequently. It That Fell now uses Hide ability much frequently. Monsters that use Blinding Gaze in maps. Yeah, that would have been insane with the new boss health increases. Monsters that use Blinding Gaze in maps now uses more quickly. Porcupine Goliaths in maps have a 70% chance to release spikes on death, down from 100. This is a buff. Fog and Iron Lake also nerfed to Shatter. Fog and Iron Lake defeating the map boss while it's in range is now more rewarding. That was already pretty rewarding. Especially because you can get it in call range and then activate it. I always felt like it should be the earlier you activate those things. I don't know if you are familiar with if you have done the bosses and actually activated their buff. But they have 3 nests, and if you activate them, the boss becomes considerably more... Like in 2.6, if you pop all those 3 early on in the fight, that's a hard fight. Especially when you are in that tier. So I feel like if you activated them early on, and that gave a bigger reward than if you activated it when it's in call range. That would be cool in my opinion. Because then you actually have a hard fight. Like if you do it at the start, that is legitimately harder than Aziri. I always put them on like when it's like, oh okay, I can one hit it now, let's change it. Anyway, added 15 Grandmasters and replaced 2 existing Grandmasters with updated versions. Oh, they were the accidental ones. Balance changes to charges, elements, and down over time appears to have been propagated. Several Grandmasters have been adjusted as a result of these balance changes. Temple. The portal in the boss room no longer has massive hitboxes that extend far beyond the portals themselves. Yeah. Mesa. The location where a player appears in the boss room has been moved farther away from the exit. The boss has been moved slightly farther away to prevent players from accidentally engaging the boss from this new spot. Burial chambers. The boss's cauldron has been moved farther away from each other. Further balance the monster density of endgame maps. We looked at that. You can no longer appear in the middle of a pack of monsters on a fresh barrow map. You could do that. Wow. Key map has been renamed Port. Well, to be fair, that's sort of what I want. I wanted things like Strand to be... It depends on how much they've nerfed them, right? It depends on what they've considered while nerfing them. If they've been checking things like fully sexted maps, fully sexted pack size rolled maps with legacy mobs on, and they've balanced it due to that, I think most people will feel like that is a considerably negative thing. Although I'm actually really excited if they have properly increased and maybe added better divination cards to things like Residence, Torture Chamber, Cells, because I would quite like a reason to do those maps. Especially, and that would like make you like, oh, you know, a build like Blade Vortex would be really, really good and more viable for 100 push if it's key. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Dictionary, my friend. It would be really cool to run, like, if there's a reason to. You want to do Cells? Yeah. Of course I do. Of course I want to have a reason to do, like, terrible layouts. I would definitely like that. Like, I really liked farming Residence back in the day. Because it dropped, like, the, Dapper Prodigy card, even though it's not a great layout. So, yeah, no, I would definitely want a reason to do bad layouts. He plans to play Blade Vortex, yeah, for the first day. I'm going 8k. Or Church Dash. Sana Ling modes available during 3.0. Onslaught. Bloodlines. Beyond. Ambush. Perandus. Nemesis on 7. And Breach on 8. Why though? Why have you given us Nemesis on 7? Nemesis shouldn't even be in. At least on 8. The reason I say this is I don't know how much they care about like the race to level 100. Obviously very few people, like 0.1% of the population care about that. But I don't like it when headhunters are part of the level 100 race because it makes it so, oh, they have a headhunter, they won. I just want a league without headhunters. And it's so cheap too. You can just run Nemesis. But I don't know, I would rather have the Breach than Nemesis swapped. Yeah, Perandus is pretty cool. I wonder how big the chance for Kadira Perandus is to appear. Yeah, I know. I actually don't like that Headhunters on divination cards. You'll get a Headhunter and you like it? No. I'm not going Souls off on. Dude, I was just gonna do like a quick 30-minute sum up of the patch notes. PvP pre-made characters have been updated to work with the current passive skill. Skill linked to castle channeling now do 70% less damage in PvP. Scorching Ray now assumes a cast time of 4 seconds before calculating now. PvP down from 30. Oh. Significantly reduced damage. And then it's just bug fixes and roll balance. Cool. I can't imagine they're just bugs and stuff. It's not important to go over. Let's do a TLDR of how I feel about all the patch notes. Right, so a lot of this was expected, right? A lot of this was expected. I was not expecting a nerf to the XP. I feel like it's currently in a good place. Takes most players around 7 days played to get level 100. Under a non-legacy, non-fully sextanted good scenario. So I wasn't expecting that. I mean, we don't really know how bad or how good it is, so that doesn't affect me. And people said I was overacting about casual players, so if it doesn't affect me, then I don't care, right? Then so not really affected by that, so that's fine. 7 days is too short, spoken by a person that does not have a level 100 character. Anyway, more importantly, I'm very sad about the Voice of the Storm, Choir of the Storm changes. I like the mechanic that you got rewarded for investing into Lightning Rest. I thought that was cool, and I'm sad that that's disappeared. Definitely understand the reason for a nerf on that, but yeah. As for Energy Shield, everybody was obviously telling me that Energy Shield would be buffed again after the beta. I said it wouldn't, and that this would be another minor matter. If you don't know what happened, minor matter got severely nerfed. The community had a big outcry, and people, or the devs were saying, don't worry, if people don't like it after the beta, we will change it. And everyone said, oh, okay. Then we gave a lot of feedback. Everyone said, okay, well, it's terrible. Nobody's going to use this. And it didn't get changed. I said the same thing would happen to Energy Shield. And I definitely wanted Energy Shield to be nerfed. It needed a nerf. It did not need all 7 nerfs at the same time. So my suggestion for Energy Shield would be putting the nodes behind CI back in to actually give a reason to go CI and have it like be differentiated with I'm going life mind over matter, I'm going low life, or I'm going CI. Not just I'm saving up to go CI, I mean low life, sorry. So that is my thoughts on the Energy Shield. We will, of course, adapt to this and just all play mom builds instead. Will be the meta this league. What else were like really important things that we wanted to go over? I am excited about the density changes. I'm hoping things like Strand hasn't been gutted by like 30 to 50%. Hopefully it's just a slight nerf. I'm hoping for a bigger buff on layouts with bad layouts. So I'm pretty excited for that. The sound changes were pretty good. I'm excited that Scion will be played more now. Probably will be more Path of Scion than before. Assassin got gutted. I'm never been a huge damage over time person. Never been something I've played. I haven't really played a lot of double dipping builds either. Just my summoner build. Up other things, not a lot. I've played more double dipping ignite builds than poison at least. Like I haven't played around much with poison. Doesn't affect my playstyle a lot. I'm gonna assume we'll get level 100 after something like 9 to 11 days played is gonna be my estimate. I'm not like super upset. I don't feel like they've ruined the game. I feel like it's bad changes on some accounts, and there's been some cool ones. Some items have been changed in cool ways as well. I'm not like terribly outraged by this. It's like overall at the end of the day it doesn't affect me and the way I play the game because I play so much. So it's whatever. I feel like build diversity has taken a huge hit. There will be less builds that are going to be recommended, obviously in 2.6 when someone asked what is the best build. It was a lot harder to answer that question because there were so many good builds and so many cool things we could play. It really depended on what you wanted to do. So there are a lot of cool changes that I'm excited about too, like Cyclone and stuff like that. All in all, I'm really excited for 3.0. I'm not paid to say this. Not terribly outraged, I guess. All in all, I will adapt to the new changes, and yeah, good stuff. Hopefully, it doesn't seem to matter our opinions. It seems to mostly matter what Reddit says and what's the most upvoted. So like, nerf Energy Shield, blah blah blah. Okay, sure. That's pretty much my sum up. Well, you don't seem happy either. Well, no, none of these were exciting new things for me. They were mostly fun detected nerf incoming, but it's sort of like Facebook changing its layout, right? Whenever Facebook changes its layout, I'm going to go like, fuck, this is shit, I hate this shit, and then in 2 weeks I'm going to be like, oh well, I'm used to it now. So yeah, there's nothing like that I'm super excited about here. There's nothing where I went like, oh wow, they put in the nodes behind CI again. That's really well thought out. I'm super excited that they're like, that they understand the endgame balancing and stuff. And as for like, I know a lot of people are memeing about the like 1,000 hours of like professional experience, but like that's one league played, right? For me. So I don't always necessarily feel that that's enough. Granted, they have a lot of talented people working there like Neon and stuff, and I'm not familiar with all the people that they have balancing. But they do, I generally know several devs that have level 100s and actually play the game. I don't feel like they've been involved in all sides of the balancing point though. For the Zana changes, I'm slightly disappointed that Nemesis is at level 7, not level 8. But yeah, that's my TLDR. This took way longer than I thought it would. I'm going to stop recording now. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't think I'll have time to make annotations and stuff like that, but I'll link to, well, this highlight thing. Thanks for watching. Try to die less than I do.